The Canon PowerShot A490 is a point-and-shoot digicam made in 2010, and with film prices rising, I thought it would be a good idea to go on a trail with this camera and see if digicams can really replace film cameras. So with that being said, welcome to Clear Entertainment, and this is Into the Lens. So before we get started, there's like some stairs that go down to the trail and some trees here, and it kind of guides your eye right in the middle. So I'm going to take a photo right here. The thing is that this actually gives me like a histogram, and it actually tells me what parts are like overexposed, underexposed. So it kind of did tell me that there's some of the parts in the sky, like some parts of the clouds were overexposed. So that's pretty cool to actually have on such a small thing. Okay, so I figured out that it just automatically goes into like macro mode, so I don't need to actually change the settings. I want to see how close I can get. That's pretty impressive. The focal distance is really close actually. Let's keep walking down, and I think we'll get some good landscapes as well with this. Hopefully there's not too much bright skies. Oh yeah, it's telling me like the whole sky is blown out. Let me see if we can take a photo and fix it. So we're continuing the trail. Right now we're like halfway. This is actually a bird trail, so we might see some cool birds that we can take photos of. This doesn't have that good of a zoom, so I'm not really expecting we're gonna get super detailed shots of birds. But if we do see some cool birds, we might get some cool shots, you never know. Oh, this is pretty cool. All right, so I've been having a lot of fun shooting on this camera. You know, it's small, it's light, I can put it in my pocket and I just forget it's even there. You know, the screen is okay. You know, like I can tell a sharp photo from a blurry photo, so that's pretty good. I haven't even touched the settings on this camera, mainly because I thought I would have had to for macro mode, but actually whenever I just went up to something, it would just switch to macro mode. So that's really handy that I don't need to go through settings for any of that. It just does it automatically. That's awesome. The zoom is a 3.3x zoom. I haven't been taking much zoom photos, but the ones that I have, they're okay. You know, you can't really expect too much out of the zoom on this, but at least you have the feature, you know, at least you have it if you need it. My favorite feature though on this is definitely when you take a photo right after you have a preview and a tiny little histogram, and in your preview you have zebra stripes of wherever your photo is overexposed. Specifically for me, it was clouds. And the thing is that I would retake the photo and somehow the camera would just expose a better photo. I think that is very handy to have. But yeah, overall, super fun camera to shoot on. I'm really excited to go home and edit them. Let's keep shooting, and you'll hear my final thoughts at the end of the episode, as well as hearing my favorite photos. And yeah, let's just keep going. Okay, well, it's not telling me anything is overexposed, so that's a good thing. This is a train station right next to the trail we're on right now. I thought I'll just take a photo of it, see how it goes. This is pretty cool. It's like empty field with just trees. Such a weird shot, to be honest, because it's nothing really that interesting, but still not too bad. It looks overexposed, but it's saying it's not, so a little bit confused. I don't know, maybe it's just the screen that is making it look like that, but again, we're gonna have to wait and see on my computer. It's very hot. I'm gonna take a photo of this track here in the middle of this. I think I have heat stroke, to be honest, not gonna lie. We didn't pack water. We've been out here for 3 weeks. Okay, right here I think is good. I can't see what I'm taking photos of right now. The sun is in my eyes. All right, so we are back now. It's been a few days since we went out and took photos on this camera, and I have to say, I'm actually pretty impressed with this, mainly because it's an old point and shoot digicam. I guess in my mind, I just thought, you know, the dynamic range wasn't gonna be good, or the sharpness and the focus was gonna be lackluster. But actually, it's pretty fun shooting on this thing, and the results speak for themselves. So let's talk about some of my favorite photos from that day. Definitely my all-time favorite is the wooden bridge and the hazy sky. This is such a nice photo. It turned out great. I love the colors, the sharpness was perfect. In this photo, you could actually see the blue sky and the clouds, but some of the clouds were a little bit overexposed, so I couldn't really do much with it when I was editing. So instead, I decided to go a different route and just make the whole sky white and give it that kind of hazy faded look down to the trees in the back, and it actually turned out really nice. Another one of my favorites is definitely the butterfly. The butterfly was so hard to take a photo of. There were so many there. I tried so many times, but they kept on flying around. This one decided to just stay still on this branch, and I took so many photos. This one turned out the best. And again, the colors are great. The sharpness is great. Yeah, you have a little bit of like an overexposed sky in the top left corner. But again, I just kind of made it a little bit hazy there, a little bit faded, and it turned out really great. Another one of my favorites is definitely the macro photo of the yellow flowers. This is such a good example of how well the background separation is. I mean, the bokeh in this photo is insane. Like, if you didn't tell me that this photo was shot on a point and shoot, an old point and shoot camera, I wouldn't even be able to tell, to be honest. So yeah, it's an amazing shot. Also, you can see like a tiny little ant right in the middle. I didn't even notice that until I was editing. So that is such a cool shot. These photos are probably the closest I've ever gotten to a film-like photo. Granted, I've never actually shot on a Fujifilm camera because I know you can do film simulations on those cameras, so I can't really vouch on that, but this is pretty impressive, especially because these cameras are pretty inexpensive. You can buy them for pretty cheap So should you buy something like this? Should you buy a Digicam? I would say, yeah, you should 100%, especially if you're a film photographer, you solely shoot film. This would be pretty handy to have as a secondary right beside your film camera, especially with the way film prices are going. But even if you aren't a film photographer, maybe you shoot on your phone or DSLR or mirrorless, this is still a really cool camera to check out and try. It's not a camera to be slept on for sure. But with that being said, make sure you like this video if you did indeed like it, subscribe for more, and I will see you in the next episode of Into the Lens.